We are going through exercise 17D, and in this video we'll be answering question 6b, which says the following. Sketch the graph of y equals f dash of x for each of the following. So we need to graph the derivative of this. So let's begin by simply writing down that this is y, this is x, and what we will be graphing is y equals f dash x. Okay, so if we look here for a moment and just contemplate what this is, you can clearly see that if I was to draw a tangent anywhere on this graph, the gradient of that tangent is always going to be negative. So in other words, I have a negative derivative. So all of this, I'm just putting a negative symbol just to represent that. We also know it's linear. My gradient isn't going to change anywhere here. The derivative isn't going to change because it's just a linear function. It's constant. So that means I'm going to exist as a horizontal line somewhere below my x-axis. But where exactly is it going to exist? So if we were just to do this for a moment, let me grab a line. We know it's going to look something like this. Clearly, it's going to look something like this. Let's just change the color and make it a bit thicker. It's going to look something like this, but is it going to be here? Is it going to be here? How are we going to know where it's going to be? Well, there's a couple ways we could answer this question. One is realizing that the derivative is nothing more than the gradient of the tangent. So if we could figure out what the gradient is going to be, we could figure out where it's going to exist on my graph here. And to do that, we just need to find rise over run. So if we look here, this is going to be my rise. This is going to be my run. So it's going to be -1 divided by 1, which is just -1. So that means this right here is going to be 0, -1. And we figured that out by simply figuring out our rise and run. So let me just write this in just so we are all on the same page here. This is rise and run. This is rise and run. But let's say you wanted to figure it out another way. How about this? How about we find out what the rule is for this line? It's clearly going to be y equals -x plus 1. Because it's going this way, so it's -x, it's shifted 1 up. Too easy. Then we could derive this. We could say, well, dy dx is going to be -1, and that's it. This constant will go away. So therefore my derivative is -1. And look right here, that's exactly what we have shown. So hopefully that makes sense. There's nothing really more for me to say here. Hopefully you're starting to really understand conceptually what derivatives are. It just takes practice. I'll see you in the next video.